Hi, in today's session, we are going to deal with Ansible Vault. Once it is done, we deal with Ansible roles. First, let's start with Ansible Vault. What is Ansible Vault? Ansible Vault is a feature. Ansible Vault is a feature of Ansible that allows you to keep sensitive data such as passwords or keys in encrypted file rather than a, rather than as plain text in a playbook or roles. So it is mostly we can store our secure data in the Ansible vault. So you know the meaning of vault, right? Vault is a secure place where you can store your important things. Even we can store money in our vault, sorry, wallets. And a vault is nothing but we can store our backups in the vault. Like that, we will use the vault for a purpose where we can store our secure data. Sorry, sensitive data. So even in Ansible Vault, we can store our passwords, keys, or any other important data which you don't want to share with any others. You just want to use it whenever you want to run. Okay, in those cases, we can use Ansible Vault. And Ansible Vault is not a separate place where you can store. It is just like a feature where we can act on specific files. If you use Ansible Vault on a specific file, it is going to convert as a encrypted file rather than a readable file. Okay, so by using Ansible Vault commands, I mean to say all Vault commands starts with Ansible Vault. By using Ansible Vault command, we can encrypt a file or decrypt a file. We can read the encrypted file. We can edit the encrypted file. All this stuff we can do. So the major intention behind this is just to secure your data, which is private, right? Now, if you want to create a file with encrypted format, we can use a create. Ansible Vault create is a option. So all commands will start with Ansible Vault. How we run Ansible playbook, right? All playbooks we run with the Ansible playbook command. Similar way, all Ansible Vault commands starts with Ansible -vault space this option create and followed by the file name. So this is to create a vault file in the encrypted format. Directly you can create a vault file in encrypted format. Next, view. View is to see the data whatever is there in the encrypted format. And edit, to edit a file. Encrypt, if you already an existing file which is readable format, now you would like to convert into the encrypted file, then we can use the encrypt. Decrypt, if your file is already encrypted, now there is no sensitive data, then you can use the decrypt option. Next, ask vault pass. So this is to provide the vault password while running your playbook. Now one more thing you need to remember is, if you are encrypting your file, you need to store one more password. Maybe file have the contains the sensitive information. Now if you want to encrypt that one, you are going to encrypt and give a password. Now you may ask me a question that why we are encrypting a file with the another password, which I'm going to answer in the later. But if you want to what I can say, use the encrypted file in your playbook, then you need to also pass the vault password. Then instead of passing the password while running your Ansible playbook, whenever you are using Ansible vault commands, then you can pass your vault password by using this one. You can understand this one later, but these two, if you don't understand, just skip this. I'm going to explain with examples. So here I have already logged into my systems. First session is control node. Sorry, first session is control node, which is my Ansible node, and this one is RHL server, and this one is my Tomcat server, and this one is Ubuntu system. Let me clear the screen. and here as well. Right? Now I'm going to create a file with encrypted format. Then we can use Ansible Vault. Okay, this is the command to create a file with encrypted format. But let me switch back to my ANS admin user. Here we have, okay, I was doing something yesterday. So CD playbooks, and you can see here we have all our playbooks. Now I'm going to create a encrypted file. To create an encrypted file, you can use Ansible Vault, create, and file name. I'm going to give vault1.yml. You can give any name. It doesn't mean that you should give the YML format, but in your system, if it is in YML format, it is easy for you to understand it is related to the Ansible file. That is the only intention. You can give any extension. So I'm giving vault1.yml, and you can see here it is asking for a password. I'm giving abc123 as my password. Same thing again. Sorry, doesn't match. abc123, abc123. I'm giving simple password, but usually we use complex passwords. Now you can write your data. Assume that my Gmail account, just I'm giving Gmail mail at gmail.com and password abc123. Okay, just I have keep my sensitive data. Okay, my email ID and my password. Now I don't want to, nobody can able to see my password. That is the reason I have encrypted my file. Now if I open this vault1.yml, you can see you cannot able to read the data because it has sensitive information. Who knows the password of this vault, they can only able to open or read the data. Now if I want to read this file, I can use Ansible Vault view. Okay, view is a command to read the file, view and vault1.yml. If I give this one, it asks for password. I know the password because I'm an authorized person to open this file, and you can see I can able to view the data. So this is how you can create a vault password, and this is how you can view the data. Okay. Now assume that if you do remember, we have created user.yml. Okay. So in this one, the username is Rahul we have given. Okay. It doesn't have any sensitive information. Let's take that just for namesake I'm changing it. So I'm giving Rahul password. We are not using this keyword nowhere, but just I'm giving abc123 as a Rahul password. Now what happened? This user.yml file contains the sensitive data, so I should encrypt this file. I should encrypt this file. I cannot leave the like this. Everyone leave like this because everybody can able to read his password. So then what I can do, I'm trying to give you an example that you have a already created file which is having sensitive information. Then I'm going to encrypt this one by using Ansible Vault encrypt and followed by your file name. So this is how you can encrypt. It is asking for password. I'm giving abc123, abc123. Okay, passwords can be anything. For simple reason, I'm keeping like this. Okay. Now if I try to open user.yml, now nobody can able to read this one. Why? Because it is encrypted due to some security reasons. This is how you can encrypt your file. After some time you have removed this one. Okay. Now I don't want to keep the Rahul password in this file. Then you can use the Ansible Vault edit. Okay. View is to just to read. View is to just to read the file. Whenever you are viewing, you need to provide the Ansible Vault password. And if you want to edit, Ansible Vault edit and user.yml. Now it is asking for password. I'm giving my vault password, and you can remove this one and save this file. Now I have edited my file, and if I use still, it is encrypted format even though you removed your password. So once you have removed your password, there is no sensitive data, right? If I check Ansible Vault view user.yml abc123 is my password. So now there is no sensitive information. So it doesn't have any meaning to encrypt your file if it doesn't have any sensitive information. Then we can use the decrypt option. Ansible Vault decrypt and your user user.yml file and abc123. Now if I see cat user.yml, I can able to read this file. Okay, so this is how we can use our Ansible Vaults commands. So Ansible create, Ansible view, Ansible Vault create, view, edit, encrypt and decrypt. These are the maximum passwords we use. Is it clear how Ansible Vault commands does work? If it is clear, I'm going to show you in which cases do we use it.
Shankar, can we encrypt a particular line in a file?
No, it doesn't work. You can encrypt entire file. There is no option to encrypt a specific file.
Okay.
Okay, so now what we are going to do is we will write an Ansible playbook where we can clone our code from our GitHub repository. But that is a private repository. So if it is a private repository, we need to provide credentials, right? So we'll try to provide credentials, but I don't want to give the sensitive information in the file. Then how can I accomplish that one? We'll see that. So for that one, quickly, I'm going to change my GitHub account password because it doesn't accept the special characters. What we are going to do now is we are going to create a repository. So let's go back to your repositories and create a new repository, and I'm giving vault test. Okay, vault test repository. It is a private repository, not a public repository. And I'm creating a readme file. Let it be. And I'm editing this one Ansible Vault, and this is a test file. Just I have given some updates. Now I would like to clone this repository into my system. If I want to clone it, I need to use my credentials. Why? Because it is a private repository, right? Let's go and try it manually. I'm cloning my repository. You can see here git clone. Am I copied HTTPS? Yes. If I try to clone it, it is asking me the username and password to clone it. If I provide username and password, then only I can able to clone it. But I don't want to do it with the command line. I want to do it with the Ansible playbook. I want to do it with the Ansible playbook. So let's write a quickly an Ansible playbook. How can we clone private repositories into our systems? So vi git clone.yml triple minus name cloning repo hosts web servers I am giving become true. I don't think so. We need become true option over here. Gather facts. We don't need it. Then tasks. So we need to write a task that is minus name cloning repo. Okay, now to clone a repo, we have a Ansible module called Git. Let's go and know about what is Git Ansible module. So Git module Ansible, if you give, so if you go here, you can see these all are the parameters which you can able to pass. Just to try to come down examples. If you see the examples, it is easy for you to understand. You can see here Exa example git checkout. Checkout nothing but downloading. Check-in nothing but updating the code. Okay. So example git checkout from Ansible playbook. So git is a module and repo. What is the repository name? Then destination nothing but where do you want to copy this code and version. Okay. Version nothing but the branch. If it is if you don't give anything, it is a default branch it is going to take. This is how you can able to download your repository, right? So there are few other examples, but in our case we want to download it. Okay, so git is a module, then src source, our repository name. This is our repository name, and destination, where do you want to copy? I haven't given become true, so it doesn't have access to any other folder. So let's download in our home ans admin home directory. Okay, so this is how we can do. So that's fine, right? Let's save this file, and if I try to execute Ansible playbook -i hosts, then Ansible playbook -check. Okay, so instead of giving -check, we can give another option, minus capital C. Both are same. Okay, minus capital C is also do the same thing. Let's execute, and you can see here what it is saying. I'm trying to clone the repository, but it is a private repository, right? Okay, accept host key. Something you need to provide the accept host key. So accept host key nothing but you can add your public key in the repository, and the private key you need to provide by using accept host key. But rather than that one, we have username and password, right? In that case, we can provide our username and password in the git URL itself. Okay, so if I open this one, in this URL itself, we can provide our username and password. I will just grab that command, how it works. So git command to provide username and password. If you search, okay, you can see how do I provide username and password while running your git command. Okay, so this is how the syntax git clone. Okay, so you can see here git clone https username colon password, then your repository. This is how you can pass your credentials, right? So same thing I'm updating in my repository. So this is after here where our username is revd, right? Revd colon, right? And Galaxy 123 we have given password, and here at we should provide. Okay, so let me check whether it's correct or not. Yes, after https you should provide username colon password at your repository. Okay, now let's try to save this file, and we'll execute this Ansible playbook with C option. Okay, there is a okay indentation error here as well. Now let's execute again. Okay, what it is saying, Ansible repo host key checking. This is remote, I think, not SRC. Where is git module? repo, yeah. So repo and dest we should provide. It is not src. We are giving repo name, right? So let's save this file and execute again. You can see here, this time it could able to clone the repository without any issues, but we just tried with -c option. If I go and check in my target system, you cannot able to see that one. cd/home, or let me switch to ANS admin user, and you don't have a repository even here also. Okay, we don't have any repository yet. If I do without C, it should able to clone. Okay, clone so and so vault test home Ansible admin /home. Okay, I'm sorry. So after this, I need to provide the directory name where I should copy it, because I cannot give the directory name. So VI and directory name I am giving vault test. Okay, so vault test is the directory name I am giving, and let's try it again. And it is going to clone and keep it as a vault test. If you see here, there is a directory called vault test even here as well. Okay, so this is how we can clone our repository into the target system. But if you observe the problem with this playbook, okay, we are providing our credentials directly to in the our Ansible playbook, and it is not right way to do this one, right? Because you come to know that what is my credentials, Ansible, sorry, GitHub credentials. That is the reason we need to encrypt this file. Now if I encrypt this file, entire file, okay, let's take this example. Ansible, I thought it is having a sensitive information. I'm trying to encrypt it, encrypt, and I'm giving encrypted password as a abc123 abc123. Now I have encrypted this file, right? So now if somebody want to know what is this playbook is doing, okay, they don't know what is happening inside this playbook. Okay, they can run it, but they don't know what is happening. If they want to do something, some changes, it is difficult. So encrypting entire playbook is not at all a good idea. Now, is there any option we can bypass this problem and still I want to secure my credentials? Does anybody give any clue? I'm just decrypting it again. Cat git. Okay. See, now my question is, I don't want to show my passwords. At the same time, I don't want to encrypt this file. I want to encrypt only my passwords. How can I do that one? Can anybody have any idea? How can we
Can we
achieve this?
pass this using external file?
Yes, that is where variables comes into the picture, right? So in this case, what I can do, I can give my password. Username is no issue. I can share with everyone. But whenever it comes to the password, I can use it as a variable, and variable file I can encrypt it so that this file won't be encrypted. At the same time, my credentials are secure information, sorry, sensitive information is not displayed. Okay, now let's try that one. What I am doing, I am creating my uh, vault vault2.yml, same way how we have created Ansible vault create vault2.yml. Here I am going to give my git password. I am giving vault password, again vault password. Here git underscore passw password. Okay, just think that this is a variable name, and I am giving Galaxy 123. So save this file. Now I'm going to use this variable name in my file rather than directly providing the password. Okay, while providing variable double braces and again here as well. That's it. Now I have replaced my password and I can specify the double quotes over here if it is not necessary because it is in between of line. If it is starting of line, of course you need to do. And also I need to provide my file name, right? Vars underscore files. My file name is vault2.yml, right? Okay, so this is how I can do. And if I see my Ansible, sorry, git clone playbook, there is no sensitive information in this playbook at this moment. And also I'm using vault2. So if I open vault2, my password also not decrypted, I mean to say is not readable, it is encrypted. Now I can run this Ansible playbook without any issues. Before running, let me remove the files in the target system. I'm just removing whatever we have created previously. Now again I'm going to run this Ansible playbook. So where it is, yeah, no. Ansible playbook -i hosts git clone.yml. But as I said, whenever we are executing this Ansible playbook, we must provide Ansible password, right? To pass Ansible password, okay, ask vault pass we need to do. Otherwise, what will happen? It doesn't ask for the password and you cannot able to utilize your file. Okay, your Ansible can identify automatically, try to read all the files while executing your Ansible playbook. If some files are encrypted, it will ask for the password. You can see here error attempting to decrypt but no value secret found. Okay, so that's why we need to give the ask vault pass. Why? Because we have given the our vault2.yml in this Ansible playbook. Minus ask vault pass. Sorry, pass, right? Yeah. So here we need to provide our password abc123 I'm providing, and it automatically takes decrypt the file and clone the repository. Now if I go and check it out again, you can see here vault test is there. So this is how we can extract our sensitive information from our Ansible playbook and keep in another file and will encrypt the file. Okay, this is a basic example, but usually we need to pass the keys or some certificates like that we would be passing during our Ansible execution time. Is it clear? Any questions?
Shankar, can we pass more than one encrypted file?
Yes, we can pass it, but
So how we
it should
pass?
it should have the same password.
Okay,
No,
okay.
yeah, it should have the same password if you are encrypting. So usually what do we do rather than creating multiple encryption files? Let's take this example. Assume that you want to store one more password. Okay, in the sorry, you want to pass one more password in your Ansible playbook. Rather than creating a new file and storing the password in the separate file, why can't we use the same file, right? So that's the reason you never pass it. There won't be such kind of requirements because all encrypted or sensitive information we keep in a single file and will encrypt as a single file and will pass it. There is no meaning of keeping the sensitive information in the different files until some exceptional cases. Okay, so usually Vault Ansible Vault we use to keep our sensitive information, and we have seen examples how we can store our sensitive information. Okay, if it is clear, we move on to the next topic, that is Ansible roles. So let's search for Ansible roles over here. Okay, it is quite simple here, Ansible roles. It is not complicated, but in real world, whatever we have done so far, okay, only little bit we are going to use, but actual thing, if you are started working more on Ansible, then Ansible roles are the one which you are going to work. But without the previous knowledge, you cannot able to work it. Okay, that is the problem. That's why I spend a lot of time over there. But Ansible roles, okay, the purpose usually they say that Ansible roles is the reusability. Reusability nothing but you can write your Ansible playbook. Okay, in your team, assume that you are writing your Ansible playbook. Same playbook in other project, they want to use it again. Then, if you write in Ansible playbook, it is quite easy for them to use it. Okay, that is the intention behind the Ansible roles. But as per my experience, uh, I can say that it is very less useful in the other projects. Even though they say it is a reusability, I haven't seen much advantage so far in my experience. But what is the advantage of using Ansible roles is you can write your Ansible playbook in better way. Comparatively, writing in a single Ansible playbook all your instructions, you can split your Ansible playbook into different files. That is the use of Ansible roles. Okay, you can split your bigger Ansible playbook into the different files so that it is quite easy for you to handle or manage, or you can understand what changes you need to do in which location. That is the advantage of roles. Okay, all right. So now whenever you use Ansible roles, it is going to create these files here. Sorry, these directories I can say. So it create tasks directory, handlers directory, files directory, templates directory, where's defaults, metadata. Okay, these all are the even tests are there. Okay, it is not displayed over here, but tests like this, it creates 8 directories whenever you are start writing your Ansible roles. Okay, and each directory contains a specific reason. If you see here, tasks. So tasks nothing but what and all tasks you are doing in your system, you can keep it over here. Handlers. If you do remember, we have discussed about notify and handler. If I want to start my service, I can give the notify and handler. Then you can keep your handlers over here. Files. If you want to copy some files from your source, sorry, your Ansible system to target system, then you can use the files. Templates. Templates nothing but you can feel that files and templates both are mostly similar, but templates you can use variables while you are using templates. Depending upon target system, you can change your template type. You can see that one. Next, variables. What and all variables you are having, all the variables you can specify over here. Next, defaults. Defaults nothing but if somebody doesn't provide any variable, you can go and check in the defaults. So that is how you can specify defaults. Next, metadata. Metadata nothing but how the playbook does work, all that information will be there. It doesn't have much priority. So this is how the Ansible roles looks like. But just think that whatever Ansible playbooks we have written so far, if you want to manage it in better way, then you can use the Ansible roles. If I take an example, okay, we have written Tomcat setup.yml, right? So in this one, you can see here, you have done you have written little bit big file, and you have different tasks over here. And if you start adding few more tasks to this file, it will be keep on, sorry, so it will be keep on growing, right? So it will be keep on growing. So to overcome this kind of problem, we are going to split this Ansible playbook into the different files by using roles. That is the intention of this one. So this is the Ansible playbook which we have written some time back, and we were having to start the service as well as to replace the port number. First, we are going to make it work. Instead of replacing this one with the line in file, I'm going to use a what I can say, file module, which I can just copy the file from the source to destination. Okay, so I will just run you through this playbook once again, and we'll correct this playbook, what and all mistakes we have done. Then we are going to convert this one into the role. All right. So vi tomcat setup.yml. So if you do remember, first one, playbook to install Apache Tomcat. Then hosts, web servers we are giving become true, gather facts yes, and variable file name we are giving tomcat_vars.yml. Then comes to the tasks. First we are installing Java. Then once Java installation is completed, then we are downloading Tomcat packages. Okay, this Tomcat URL is there in the variable file, and we are downloading it under to OPT. So once it is downloaded, we are extracting those files. Once it is extracted, we are going to change the permissions of the Apache Tomcat file to 0777. It is not Apache Tomcat file, it is a directory, right? Okay, once it is, what I can say, once we have changed permissions, then we are going to create a symbolic link for this one. So /opt. So once symbolic link has been created, we are changing the port number. Okay, so this one I am going to add at the end. So then we are starting the services. So these two, what I will do, I will add it as a handlers. Okay, so okay, so I'm introducing one more action, that is handlers, right? Okay, handlers, what we are doing, once we have created this symbolic link, sorry, not handlers, we need to use notify. Once the symbolic links has been created, we would like to notify. So notify start Tomcat. Okay, start Tomcat I'm doing, and I'm going to use handlers. It starts from here. So handlers, and the name should be the same as a notify, right? Start Tomcat. Okay, next we are changing the file port number. Okay, rather than this one, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a file module over here. Okay, file module. So in file module, I'm giving src. So src is settings.xml. Okay, this is the file. Destination, where do you want to copy? I want to copy it onto /opt tomcat package /conf. Okay, /settings.xml. Okay, so I will just show you on Tomcat system. This is Tomcat server, right? If you download, okay, the Tomcat file name is this one. If you go inside to your Tomcat file, okay, Tomcat 6 came, I think. So Tomcat 6, then you have a conf file, sorry, conf directory. If you see your directory, this is your directory, right? So then you have here a server.xml, not settings.xml. If you edit this file and search for port, you can see next. You can see here connector port number 8080. Whatever port number you are having over here, on this port number the application runs. We need to change this port number. That's it, right? So for that, what I'm doing, I'm just we have different ways. First, what I am going to do, I'm just copying this file. entire file I'm copying, and I will keep in my Ansible server. Okay, so I'm going back to my Ansible server. Let me change it to server.xml, right? That is the file name we need. Even server.xml. All right. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a file called server.xml. I think I have already copied. So let me remove server.xml. After last class, I was experimenting it. So, okay, I have copied again. I need to copy it again. Okay, here it has been added. Anyway, I'm going to update it. So, Control C and VA server.xml, and port number I'm changing to 8081. Okay, and Shift G, this is not required. So just what I have done, I just copied as it is of the server.xml from the Tomcat configuration, and I changed the port number from 8080 to 8081. That's it. Where it is? Yeah, you can see here I have changed port number 8080 to 8081, and this is not commented out. This is commented out. You can see here, if it starts with exclamatory mark and this one, it means that it is commented out. So this is commented out. No need to change over here. Only we have changed over here. Now I would like to copy this file onto the target system, right? So that is where I have written my Ansible playbook. So change port number server.xml, and source means in your current location it is going to check for this file. Okay, this is not file, you need to use the copy module. You are copying source, nothing but in current location there is a server.xml file, and copy it onto the destination /opt and so on so location. Okay, and conf server.xml, that's it. Now what we are doing is, once this is done, again I want to use the notify. Okay, restart Tomcat. Okay, so first thing is we are what we are doing is we are starting the Tomcat. Whenever you are starting the Tomcat, that's fine. You can use once the linked file is created, you can start it. If you are changing your configuration, you need to restart your Tomcat server. So again, I can go here under handlers. Again, I will add. Okay, this time I don't want to use this one. I just want to use our command like tomcat up. Okay, if I do tomcat up, it should start. If I do tomcat down, it should shut down. Okay, similar way here I'm going to give one more minus name, restart tomcat, and command I'm giving tomcat down. For this, no hop is not needed, and no hop tomcat up. So what does it mean that we are running two commands because we need to restart Tomcat. To restart, we don't have command to restart our Tomcat. We are bringing down the Tomcat application, and again we are starting it. We are bringing down Tomcat, again we are starting. Okay, so I'm going to explain it one more time. So first we are installing Java, then downloading Tomcat packages. Okay, so whatever version is there, it is going to download it from the Tomcat URL. We just specified Tomcat URL in our variable file. I will open that Tomcat variables file as well. Let me open in new tab, duplicate tab. If you see here, sorry, CD playbooks. Here we have tomcat vars.yml, right? here we have URL of our Tomcat URL. You can see here we are downloading 5.56 version of the Tomcat. Once it is downloaded, we are extracting that file. Where we are what is the file we are extracting? OPT and the Tomcat package name, and then extracting. Then change the permissions of the Tomcat. Of course, we are changing. Then we are creating link file. Okay, so once we have created link file, we could not able to start the Tomcat up command. We are going to see today. I missed to troubleshoot that one, but once that is done, we can start our Tomcat services. Okay, once we have started, again we are changing the configuration, nothing but port number 80802 to 8081. If you are changing your configuration of Tomcat, you need to restart your Tomcat. Then your notify will again get executed because we are changing this one. So, and it is going to stop your Tomcat and start the Tomcat. All right, that is what it is going to do. But before doing this one, we'll just try to execute this one. This is the where we were having error. So at this moment, there is no Tomcat services are running. So Tomcat up, I'm trying it as a root user, and ps-ef grep Tomcat. Okay, Tomcat services are running. Tomcat down. So ps-ef grep Tomcat. So it's not running. Same thing over here as well. We are not touching Ubuntu system. So I'm becoming a root over here, and pwd, go to opt, and go inside to Apache Tomcat and conf, because I was doing some experiment after our class. So this extra line got added. Let me remove this one, and Tomcat down if it is running. Okay, connection refused. Maybe it is not running. Tomcat up, ps-ef grep Tomcat. Now it is running. Tomcat down, yes. Okay, all right, everything is working fine now. So let it be, and hope handler definition is correct, right? So let me validate my Ansible playbook. Ansible playbook -i hosts. What hosts I'm using? I kept web servers only. Okay. Ansible playbook -i hosts. Tomcat setup -c, right? And let's notify. Okay, here it should start. So notify should start here, even here as well. Yeah, it's correct only. Now, all right, this is successful. So this time I think it is everything is fine. Now what we are doing is we are going to remove the configuration on the target systems, and then we'll rerun it. So first I'm going to remove all the packages in this rm-rf star. Okay, it removes everything, even over here cd/opt ls rm-rf star. We don't need all this stuff, nothing is there. Then linked file also, usr local bin, we are creating linked file rm-rf star. Okay, linked files also not there. And usr local bin rm-rf star. All right, so we have removed all our configuration. And let's try with this playbook again. This time what it should do, it is going to download the required packages and extract it, then create a link file and start the service, and then copy our server.xml. So once it is copied, port number get changed from 8080 to 8081, and our application should run on 8082. Sorry, 8081. So let's go and check it out. cd opt. I'm checking only one server, so for file is not yet copied. Once download is completed, we can see that one. Yes, it's downloaded. Now it is extracting. Now you can see two files, it's extracted. And handlers, no hub tomcat up, no such file or directory tomcat up. Okay, where it is, now we'll see. So whether linked file is created or not. US or local bin. Okay, link file is there. Okay, now I'm switching back to my home directory. Tomcat up. Yes, it's starting here. Tomcat. And let me see whether file is copied or not. Restart Tomcat, where it is start Tomcat handlers. Let me give the full path. Usually it should take up the without full path, but still just as a validation step. No hub slash usr local bin, right? Tomcat hub. I don't give no hub in front of the Tomcat down because we are stopping the services. There is no point of giving the no hub, but here we need it. That's the reason I have given. Let me try it out one more time. No such file or directory. As a which user, if I execute, that error should come. If I do as a ANS admin, Tomcat up. No, it is permission error it is showing. Alright, let me try to use the shell module. Okay, now it's working. So command module is the issue here. Okay, so now what I'm doing, I'm removing everything one more time and we'll try to do it. cd slash opt sudo rm minus rf star, nothing is there, and usr local bin, so rm minus rf star, so nothing is here. Same thing I'm doing here as well. So rm minus rf star cd slash opt rm minus rf star. Okay, nothing is there. Now let's re-execute this Ansible playbook. This time it should able to download the packages and start the services. Then I can access my application from the browser. So let's go and grab my application IPs. Sorry, my server IPs. So on Tomcat server we are installing, as well as on RHL server. So it's completed successfully, and you can see here both the handlers are worked because linked file we created freshly, as well as we copied the port number. So now let's go here and search for 8081, right? It should run on 8081, not on 8080. All right, even on RHL server as well. If I search for 8081. Okay, so now I mean to say that Tomcat could able to install my packages successfully. The intention of writing this playbook is I would like to install Tomcat. But if you see here, we have keep on adding so many tasks, right? So identifying problem also it is difficult if your playbook is like this. That is where we can split our Ansible playbook into the different files. That is where Ansible module comes into the picture. Okay, so now I have opened my Ansible control node in two terminals. Okay, this terminal, last terminal, I will bring it here. Okay, so both are next to next. Both are same terminals, Ansible control node and Ansible control node. Now what we are going to do is we are going to convert this Ansible playbook into a Ansible role. This playbook into a role. Okay, so to create a role, you can create a directory and inside you can create the files which I have shown. Okay, these directories you can create inside the roles directory. Okay, rather than that one, you can use a command called Ansible Galaxy init and your role name. Our role name is Tomcat setup, right? I'm giving Tomcat setup. Okay, Tomcat setup is my role name. I'm creating a Ansible role. Whenever you execute this one, it is going to create a directory structure which is required for your Ansible role. Okay, you can see here it has been created a Tomcat role successfully, and this is our Tomcat setup.yml is our Ansible playbook, and Tomcat setup is our role. Now go inside our role, and if I do tree is not there. Sudo yum install tree. All right. So now if I do tree here, you can see here directory structure. There is a default directory, files directory, handlers directory, metadata, readme file, tasks directory, templates, tests, wars. Okay, these all are the directories which are by default what I can say needed for your role. And it is not mandatory that you should have all the directories. The mandatory directory is tasks directory. Okay, without this you cannot able to run the your Ansible role. Remaining all are optional. If you are using, you can keep those directories. If you are not using, you can skip those directories, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert our Ansible playbook into role. So let's go here, and if you try to read over here, so first it is talking about the hosts where your servers, next become true, gather facts, and variable file we are going to use. Okay, this variable file, rather than creating a separate file, whatever variables are there, we need to copy it into the vars directory. Under vars we have a main.yml, right? That is where we need to copy. Okay, so but anyway, for now just ignore this one. We are going to do it at last. First we'll copy all the tasks into the tasks directory. So this is our tasks, right? Tasks, under tasks we have main.yml. Let's open this file. Everything you need to keep under main.yml. You can change the file name, but we usually use the main.yml only. So vi, I'm already under my role, so vi, you can see here tasks is there, right? Vi tasks. Under tasks we have a file called main.yml. In this we are going to keep all our tasks. So o, okay, so just copy your tasks. What and all tasks we have? So you can see here these all are tasks, right? Till here, yeah, till here these all are tasks. Okay, just you need to copy all these tasks, and we don't have this indentation if you are copying in a dedicated one. It should start from here, so there won't be syntax error also. This minus should start the starting only. Okay, so you can see here all tasks you have copied over here. Okay, so then tasks are done. Again, if I do tree, so far we have updated only tasks. Next, what else is left out in our Ansible playbook? So till where we have copied? Did I copied all tasks? Copy server.xml. Yeah, till last task I have copied. Next one is handlers are there. So handlers we don't copy into handlers. If you see here, okay, if you see here, there is a directory called handlers, under handlers we have a file called main. So what we need to do is we need to copy our handlers into that main file. So vi handlers main.yml. So o and copy your handlers. So now I have copied my handlers. So now what we have done is we have copied under handlers whatever is there, under tasks whatever is there. Next thing is variables, right? So vars. So variables are available over here. Let me open this file. So these are the variables. Let me copy these variables into my variables directory. So I have a vars directory. Under vars again we have a main.yml. So va vars main.yml, sorry, vars main.yml. Here we need to copy our variables. Now we have copied variables, and the next one, if you do remember, we have copied everything, and you can see here you are copying a file, right? Server.xml. So if you keep in your home directory, it cannot able to recognize. In roles, we need to copy all files under files directory. So we need to copy that one over here. So in the current location itself, sorry, not in current location. Here we have the server.xml. This one copy it into the where our Ansible role is this one, right? In this one, there is a directory called files. You need to copy under to that one. That's it. So now I have copied the required input files as well. So if you see here, we are not using templates. We are not using defaults. Also metadata also we are not using. Tests, it is optional how you can execute it. Then tasks we are using handlers, vars and files. Now whatever is not required we can remove those. So mostly we don't use all the time metadata and tests. Okay, so I'm removing this one. And one more thing, defaults. So what does it mean by defaults is if you see your vars, okay, assume that you are not providing these variables. These two variables only we are using in this tasks file. Assume that you are using variables but you haven't specified the variable values in the vars directory. Then you need to define it under the defaults directory, so that if the vars are sorry, if you don't define, it takes the default variables. Let's take an example that I'm going to add one more task just to create a user. Just to create a user, you can see here where tasks main.yml. So I'm just adding, even though it doesn't do with our Tomcat, just for a namesake I'm adding create user modi. So user module name modi, right? State present. Okay, so we are creating user called modi, but instead of using modi user, I'm going to use a variable called user underscore name. Okay, so I'm using user underscore name, and here also user underscore name. Okay, just to test it out I'm doing. And if you see here username, this value I'm not providing under my variables. I should provide over here, right? Rather than that one, if somebody doesn't provide the username, by default create a user called modi. For that we can add it to the defaults main.yml. So variable name is modi. Okay, so now what it will do whenever we are executing our playbook, for username it go and check for the vars main.yml file. If it is not there, it takes the default value which is there in the defaults. That's how it is going to do. Okay, now our what I can say, file is ready. We are not using templates anyway. So templates we cannot experiment it with this example. Later point of time I will show you where we can use templates. So these all are the directories we are using. All right, Now we need to create a Ansible playbook now to execute this particular role. We cannot execute role directly. Again, role should be called from an Ansible playbook. Okay. So now I'm going back over here. This is our Tomcats setup.yml role, right? So I'm giving vi tomcat underscore role.yml. Okay, I'm just giving one name. And here you need to specify on which servers do you want to execute. If you do remember, header section we haven't copied yet, right? So this one you need to copy over here. Okay, in your Ansible playbook. And then you are going to call roles rather than tasks. Tomcat setup. That's it. So now what you are doing is you are created a Ansible playbook, but instead of writing all your tasks over here, you just created a directory, you just created a role and you are calling the role Tomcat, calling that role. Our role name is Tomcat setup, right? This is how you can call. So Tomcat setup is our role. Now if I execute this one, it is going to call this role and it do the whatever Tomcat setup we have done, same thing it is going to do. Before executing our role, I'm going to remove again our all configurations, rm-rf star, sudo rm-rf star, and /opt, sudo rm-rf star. And also if I have user called modi, I'm removing user. There is no, yeah, there is a user called modi, user del modi. Okay, user del is the command to remove a user. So we have deleted, and if I check again, there is no user called modi. Same thing over here. Under opt, I'm removing everything. Under /opt tomcat, sorry, /usr lib, sorry, usr local bin. Here we are removing these two files as well. And cat/etc password. We have a user called modi, user del modi. Okay. Now if I check it again, there is no user called modi. All right, so now let's execute our Ansible role, I can say. So to execute our Ansible role, same thing, Ansible playbook -i hosts. Okay, we should pass the host name, hosts, then our Ansible playbook name. So Tomcat role, just I'm giving with -c. Then user underscore name, okay, colon we should give. So I'm just updating Tomcat setup / defaults main.yml. Here now it's not equal, it is colon. So let's try to execute it again. You can see here it is going to take the user called modi first time. So it's creating user called modi and it is trying to download and extracting. Of course, it is not actually downloading, so it cannot able to extract it. And you can see here what it is trying to extract, 8.5.56. So let's execute without -c and it should install it. Okay, it's created user called modi. Let's go and check cat/etc password. You can see a user called modi got created. Sorry, this one, right? Then installing Java, it's already there. Now downloading packages, opt, I'm here, still not yet downloaded. Yes, it's downloading. Okay, it's downloaded. Next thing is it is extracting file. Yes, it's extracted. Next thing it is copying port number. Yes, it's copied and it happened both, right? First what it has done. Okay, so first what it is doing, it is starting the creating linked file. That's why start Tomcat is executed, and it also copied the file. That's why this handler also got executed. Now if I run, it is not going to create this one. That's why only this handler is going to get executed. But anyway, if I go and access my application again from the browser, it should work. Okay, it's working fine without any issues. Now we'll do one last test. That is, I'm changing the username. So tomcat setup.yml, sorry, not vi, go vi tomcat setup slash vars, then main.yml. Here I'm going to provide user underscore name. Okay, I'm explicitly providing user underscore name. I'm giving name as a, okay, I'm giving user called Mark. So now what we do, if we execute our Ansible playbook, it is going to create a user called Mark rather than Modi. Why? Because Modi is under what I can say default configurations. Okay, now Modi will have the, sorry, Mark have the highest priority comparatively Modi. So now let's execute again our Ansible role. And this time we need to observe two things. That is, once it is creating Mark user, you can see. Second thing is it is going to execute only one handler. That is stop and start the Tomcat services, because we are not creating linked file anymore. So it doesn't do anything. You can see here only it executed only one handler, that is Tomcat setup at the restart Tomcat, not the start the Tomcat. Okay, and one last time I'm going to execute. I'm executing with minus extra vars. Okay, so we are providing variables with the command line itself. Okay, comparatively remaining two, it will have the highest priority, nothing but whatever you provide with the extra vars. So user underscore name, I'm giving Stephen, I'm giving. So let's execute this one, and we should provide in the colon, sorry, braces, and instead of extra vars we just give minus e also. Okay, both will work, minus extra vars or minus e also. Now you can see here it is going to create a user called Stephen rather than John or sorry, rather than Mark or Modi. So whatever you provide through the command line, those variables will have the highest priority. If you want to provide multiple variables with this one, you just need to add comma to this command. You just need to add comma and again provide comma space and provide the another variable. Like that you can provide multiple variables. Okay, so that's all about in today's session. If you have any questions, you can ask me now.
Shankar, I have a question.
Go ahead, please.
You haven't shown how to use vault password file, right? So will you be taking it up later or?
Oh, vault password file, right? Yeah, uh, I will show you quickly. So usually if we want to provide a vault password, so vault, yeah, git clone. So here we are using the password, right? And we have the password over here. Okay, now what we can do is we can use the rather than what I can say, providing our Ansible vault password while running our Ansible command, like Ansible playbook -i hosts, then followed by our playbook, then --ask vault pass. Okay, here we are specifying ask vault pass, right? So if I execute this one, it is going to ask me the password. I need to provide the password to run the playbook. Rather than that one, what we can do, we can give uh, vault password file. Okay, so we can provide the vault password file while executing our Ansible playbook. Let me grab that, whether is it correct or not. Vault, yeah, vault password file, yes. So I can provide the vault password file, but you need to create the file before executing this command. So I'm creating a vault password, okay, .yml, and this extension is what I can say, optional .yml extension. So I'm just giving abc123. I just kept my password over there, and I can give the file name while executing my Ansible playbook. Okay, and here this password file should not be encrypted again. Vault password file should not be encrypted, but we can pass it from your file. And you can see here this time it is not asking for password, just it is trying to clone the repository because it takes the password from here and it executes this playbook. That is how Ansible vault password file works. But still the problem with this one is your password is exposed, vault password is exposed. So again, it is not a right way. But if it is your home directory, you are using specific password, of course you have security in your home directory, you can keep it and don't push it into the GitHub repository. Now if I push these changes to my GitHub repository, even my vault password also will go. That's why usually we keep this one in our home directory and we'll pass it while executing this playbook. That's how it works. Is it clear?
Yes.
And in next class, what we are going to do is we are going to integrate our Ansible with Jenkins, and we take an empty server. Okay, empty EC2 instance will take. Okay, we will run a Jenkins job. What our Jenkins job should do? First, it install the Tomcat application. On top of Tomcat application, we build a WAR file, and that WAR file get deployed into the Tomcat server, and we can access it from the browser. That is our next step, which we are going to do. So that is how we will be keep on increasing our roles. And if you see, it is quite easy for us to what I can say, identify where the problem in your Tomcat server. Assume that some task is not working, I will go and check it over here. Some variable is not fine, then I will go and check in the vars or defaults. Some file is missing, I will go and check it over here. Some handler is missing, I will go and check it over here. So it could be quite easy to manage if it is in under roles rather than in the single file. If it is in single file, it would be creating lot of confusion. Okay, yeah, one more point I would like to highlight at this moment. Okay, we just created tomcat setup.yml, right? If you do remember, I have used notify over here and handlers I'm adding over here. Okay, why we need to keep handlers at the end of the playbook is once it read the handlers, even though some tasks are there below to handlers, it doesn't execute. Okay, so under handlers, whatever you keep, it treats it as a handlers only. Okay, now let's take this example itself. Okay, quickly I will do a small modification. Assume that, okay, here I'm using notify. I may think that I will add handlers immediately to this one. Now if I copy this one, so I deleted this task, and if I add the task over here, okay, what will happen now? Handlers is going to treat this one also as a handler. Okay, that's why you should not add your tasks below to handlers. Under handlers, you need to keep only your handlers, and also make sure that your handler is at the end of your file rather than on what I can say in between of your files. Now it treats these three as a handlers. Okay, that is one point you should remember while doing with handlers. Clear? I'm just updating this all playbooks in my repository. Okay, you can use it. Git push origin master.